From dancing in his parents' studio to sharing stages with global superstars, choreographing for Netflix, and leading a company of over 100 dancers, today's guest is nothing short of an icon. Josh Wharmby talks to us about his journey into the dance world, landing his first professional job, the bold move from performing to choreographing, and how he juggles that work-life balance since becoming a dad. Josh Wharmby, welcome to the podcast.
Thank you very much for having me.
This is super exciting because I am going to fangirl just for a little moment.
Please don't embarrass me.
Being a dancer, I have been a big fan. I've followed you for a long time. I really like the work you do. And I just love how you represent dance up and down the country. Like, it's amazing. So thank you for joining us
Well,
today.
thank you for having me, seriously, and thank you for saying that.
Oh, we hope
I
you're
appreciate it.
excited.
I am, very.
Perfect. Well, for those who don't know you, what are 3 interesting facts about you?
Oh. 3 interesting facts about me. I actually have my own podcast, which is a true crime podcast. It's with my mum, and it's called Murder, Mother and Me. And that just came about because me and my mum are both obsessed with true crime.
You nerds.
Yeah, and we're true crime nerds, and we speak about it every day anyway, even if it's not recorded. So we just thought, why not speak it into a mic and just record it?
I like the name of it.
It
Just rolls.
Yeah, I can't even take credit for that. That was my mum's idea. So that's number 1. Number 2 is I have a 3-year-old son called Romeo.
Who is the cutest thing in the world?
He is very cute. He is very cute. And number 3, interesting facts about me. I come from a family of dance.
Oh, wow.
My whole family dances, except for my brother. He's the black sheep.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, but other than that, everyone else dances.
That's so cool. Does he do any other sports or?
He is a bodybuilder.
Fair enough.
Oh, wicked.
So, yeah.
Maybe we should bring him on for an episode.
Yeah. Yeah, he's competed and stuff, so
Oh, awesome.
he's still into like competitive stuff, I guess, like dances. But yeah, the rest of my family are all dancers.
Oh, that's
So, yeah.
amazing. All same style of dance.
No, all different. All different. So my mum and dad actually met at dance college
Oh,
years ago.
what a love story.
Yeah.
So cute.
And my mum, it's like the typical, like my dad was like the street dancer, my mum was like the ballet, jazz dancer.
It's like Step Up.
It's like Step Up.
Oh my God.
And so they met at college, and then when they left college, they saw a gap in the market for, at that time, there wasn't really many dance schools. So they started a dance school together, and that lasted 35 years, something like that. So I was brought up through a dance school, basically.
Well, that pretty much leads into my question is basically, let's take everything back to the beginning and kind of how did you get into dancing? So was it through your parents?
Yeah, I mean, I always say it wasn't really my choice. It's like, usually with a child that has nothing to do with dance already, you ask them, do you want to go to a dance class? Or usually for girls, you start in like a little ballet class or something on a Saturday. But for me, it was every day. I was at the studio every single day. And that was because of my mum and dad's dance school. So it wasn't necessarily that I chose to be there, but it was just take your kid to work. And that was it. So after school, they would pick me up, they'd take me to the studio, and I'd just be there for the rest of the night. And it wasn't until I was about 4 or 5 that I eventually just got up and joined in one day. Before that, I had no interest whatsoever. None. I just used to come and sit and, I don't know, play with my toys, whatever. And then when I was about 4, my mum said I just got up one day, stood at the back, and everyone was like, what's going on? He's standing up at the back. And the rest is history, as they say.
That's incredible.
Do you think it'll be the same for your little boy?
I mean, you've seen him.
Yeah.
He's already dancing. I mean, it's tough because I know what it's like, and I've been there, and I now try and nurture people that want to be there as well. And I'm just not sure that I would want him to go through that because, I mean, you yourself know how hard it is. So it's like he dances now because he just loves to dance.
Yeah.
But I think it's very easy to lose that love as you get on and you get into those older years. So, if he wants to do it, I'll back him 100%. If he's good, obviously. If he's not good, we're going to have a conversation. Because,
I don't think this is
can
the
do a
path for you.
we're going to have to, steer that somewhere else.
Maybe try gymnastics or
Yeah,
something.
100%. 100%. But, I mean, he's 3.5. You don't know what they're going to want to do at that age. But All I know is that as soon as he hears music, he's up and about, and he's jigging about. And similar, it reminds me of me when I was a child, because we now drag him to all the studios with us. So he also really doesn't have a choice, and he's just kind of replicating what he sees, I guess.
Yeah.
So, yeah,
I
who
love
knows?
So cute.
It is cute. It is cute.
So you mentioned that you grew up in like a dance-focused family. Did that feel like, as you got to a certain age, as a natural path, or did you ever feel pressure to dance?
Do you know what? That's one thing I never felt, is pressure from my parents, ever. I never felt pressure to be good. I never felt pressure to be the best because I was the son of the owners of the school. From what I can remember, they never pressured me into like, this is what we want you to do. There was none of that. It was just, once I got into it, there really wasn't any other interest that I had. I played football and stuff at school, but it didn't interest me like dance did. And I think when I hit like 14 or 15 and I started thinking about it and I started having chats with people at school and stuff, that's when I really thought, no, I'm going to try this like properly, because I really wasn't interested in anything else. I have no talent anywhere else. Like, it's horrendous. So, and I knew that I was like kind of good at dance compared to other stuff and compared to other people that I'd seen. I was like, oh,
I'm not bad, you know.
I'm actually all right.
I can do this.
Yeah. But you know, I was probably one of 2 boys at my school that danced out of the whole school. So
Yeah.
that was pretty difficult to connect with people about it, because no one did it other than the girls. So yeah, so it was just, there was no pressure, there was no like forcing into it. It was just the natural way that things happened.
And I think it's important as well to have a passion. Like you said, like you didn't connect with anything else. And if you do connect with something, why not try it? Like, you know, you might have just gone into your 20s and it just sort of come to a natural stop, but you've made a great career out of it. So.
100%, yeah. I mean, like I said, I played football. I enjoyed playing football. I still do enjoy playing football, but it was never like, I'm quite a realistic person. I knew I was never good enough to like make something out of it. Whereas dance, I had a different feeling about that.
Sure.
I felt like there was something I could do with that.
Yeah.
And then obviously seeing my mum and dad and how successful they are in their own right, I was like, there is definitely something I can do within this realm. I didn't know what that was at that point, whether it was going to be performing or owning my own dance school or whatever it may be, but I knew that it was something that I wanted to pursue.
So you had role models in your parents as well, didn't you?
Yeah, for sure. For sure. Which not everyone can say,
No, that's lovely.
especially in the dance world.
Absolutely.
I mean, I had role models like in the dance world as well, but yeah, I mean, I seen them at work every day. So the way I teach, the way I run my business, it's all down to them.
Yeah.
Literally, because I've seen everything firsthand. And I've seen the mistakes that they made as well, which also helps.
Yeah.
So try not to do the same things,
You learnt along the way.
for sure.
Apart from your parents, was there anyone else that inspired you, like through dancing, mentoring?
I think growing up, I would always be hooked on YouTube. Back when I was a teenager, YouTube was a very new thing. I'm showing my age there, but it was very, very new, and I used to obsess over Brian Friedman, who, for those of you that don't know, is, in my opinion, one of the best choreographers to ever live. And he was Britney Spears' choreographer for years. He choreographed Slave for You, some of the most iconic videos everyone will know, even if you don't know it's him. So he was definitely like someone that I wanted to aspire to be like. I used to watch him on YouTube all the time, and I used to research him, and you know, eventually later on in my career, I got to work with him and meet him, and now weirdly I call him a friend.
That's amazing. Because I love Slave for You.
Yeah, you do.
It's such a good
It's iconic.
dance.
It's iconic.
Oh, just
Yeah.
Britney in a whole just was in her own league.
And I mean, he choreographed her world tour when he was 18 or 19, if I'm not wrong.
Wow.
So he was,
That's incredible.
yeah, and he's never stopped since. So for me, that was like the epitome of a male dancer.
Yeah.
And he wasn't only an incredible dancer, but he was an incredible choreographer as well.
Yeah.
And it's quite rare to find someone that excels in both.
Yeah.
And that's what I really admired about him. So I was like, yeah, that's the path that I need to go down.
Yeah. Wow.
So you said that you knew that you were quite good at this. At what point did you decide, I'm going to put everything into this and I'm going to try and make it a career?
It's a great question. I think when I was 16, and it was this decision to leave school and go to dance college. or it was a decision to stay at school and do A-levels. That was my worst nightmare. Stay at school and do A-levels just was never really for what. Like, I knew I wanted to dance at that point, or I knew I at least wanted to do something in that realm. So I was like, what's a maths A-level going to get me? You know what I mean? So I found a dance college in Liverpool, which was actually owned by a family friend that I'd known for years. It was called Dolphin Dance Studios. It was like, from what I can, it doesn't exist anymore, so it's fine. But from what I can remember, there was no like, it wasn't a diploma, it wasn't a degree, it was no kind of certificates at the end. There was no qualifications. It was just like, let's just go and dance. And that appealed to me. So I was like, so I left school at 16. I went to Dolphin for 2 years. And it was literally just what I wanted. It was dance every single day, no written work, no nothing. It was just physical dance all day, every day. And I absolutely loved it. So I went there from 16 to like 17 and a half. And then I transferred over to Lipper in Liverpool. Again, another family friend of my mum and dad's. This is the bonus on my mum and dad own a dance school in Liverpool. One of their ex-students of their dance school was the head of dance of the foundation course at Lipper. And I bumped into her on a night out randomly. And she was like, oh, you go to Dolphin? I was like, yeah. And she was like, you should just transfer to Lipper. I'll get you on the course. It's like 6 months into the course, but I'll get you in, no problem. I was like, all right, cool. She got me into the course. I started the following week. I did the remaining, I think it was 6 months of that foundation course, which took me to just turning 18. And then I didn't really know what I wanted to do at that point. I didn't know if I wanted to stay at Lipper. I didn't really know what to do. Meanwhile, all of this, I was traveling back and forth from London. I was going to take class and just trying to mingle and get to know people. So I decided, I'm only 18. I'm a literal child. Let me audition for the 3-year degree course at Lipper. So I auditioned for that, got a place, started my degree at Lipper, which was supposed to be 3 years long. And then 7 weeks into my degree, I seen an audition for X Factor. As dancers, not as a singer, obviously. Can you imagine? It's an audition for X Factor as a singer, so I thought, why not?
You know the interesting fact you missed one.
Yeah. I'm actually a really good singer.
You missed football as well.
Yeah. Well, I'm not that good. So I pulled a sickie from Lipper, took the train down to London. It was an open call. Well, it was what I thought was an open call, but it was actually an open call which you had to be invited to by an agency, which literally makes no sense. I wasn't represented by any agencies at that point. Like I said, I was 18. I was fresh. Didn't have a clue what was going on. Went to London. It was at the Dominion Theatre in central London, which is where Wheel Rocky used to be. And they have a big studio on the top of the theatre. And I got there, and when I say there was thousands of people, that is no exaggeration. There was thousands. Wow. I've never seen that many people in audition to this day, ever. This was at the height of X Factor. This was 2010. So the year of X Factor that year was One Direction, Cher Lloyd, Katie Waisel, Wagner, all of those lot. I didn't know that at that point, obviously. So I spent the whole day in this audition. And when I got to the front of the queue, so the Dominion Theatre is like a circle. It's a circular theatre. The queue was round and round and round and round, like a cinnamon swirl of just human. No, I love cinnamon swirls. Sorry, I guess so. Sidetrack. Of just human bodies. So by the time I got to the front of the queue, there was a list of names, and you had to write your name down, and you had to write which agency you'd been sent by. And I thought, I didn't have an agency. So I just looked at the most common agency, and it was called Coots Dance Agency. So I just wrote Coots Dance Agency, and they were like, okay, go in.
Quick thinking.
And I was like, okay,
I'm in.
I'm in. Now I've just got to do the hard part. So then I was there all day. So Brian Friedman was the creative director and the choreographer. And Jerry Reeve is the guy that owns Coots Dance Agency. And he's like one of the biggest agents in London. And all of the dancers there were people that I'd seen on telly, in music videos, on YouTube. Wow. And I was thinking,
was it intimidating?
It was so intimidating. It was
so 18, weren't you?
I was just 18, and I was like a little rake. Like I was just like, I looked like 14. I was a child. And then I was seeing all of these dancers that I recognized. Brian Friedman was at the front of the room, and I was just like, I was just petrified. But I managed to get myself in the room, so I was like, what have I got to lose? Yeah. You know, I've pulled a sickie from Lipper. I'm probably going to get shouted at. I may as well just try.
Do it.
Anyway, the day goes on. I'm getting through round after round after round. Back in the day, these auditions were brutal. They were 9 o'clock in the morning until 10 p.m. at night. And you would go through 4, 5, 6 cuts maybe. So I keep getting through, and I'm like, what is going on? I'm like, I'm seeing other dancers that I know work from music videos and shows and stuff getting caught, and I'm being kept. And I was like, this is insane. But obviously, I'm not going to complain.
Yeah.
So I was just going and going and going. Anyway, gets to about 9 o'clock at night. I'm still there, and I'm absolutely dead. And then I think I was in the last 20 boys. I think it was, and they made us line up in a straight line, and we had to take our tops off. Which wasn't an issue then because I was like skinny, so it was fine. Now I'd have a real issue. And they just went along the line with a camera, and everyone was just like holding their breath, like tensing, like that. Yeah, it was horrendous. So there was 20 boys, 20 girls that got kept.
Wow.
And I didn't know, but the way X Factor works is that is like, they call it like their pool of professional dancers. So they have 40 dancers that they can pick from, and week by week, depending on the creative of the show, they will handpick whoever suits that creative more.
Oh wow.
And I didn't know that, so I'd made it to the end of the audition. And then I remember I was grabbing my bag, and I got a tap on the shoulder, and I turned around, and it was Jerry, the agent. And he was like, what's your name?
Yeah. Uh-oh.
Josh. And he was like, come with me. So I thought, all right, well, that's it. This is my career. I'm being blacklisted. I'm 18. I've been blacklisted. It's over. So I went over to the desk with him, and he was like, oh, well done today. Like, you were amazing. Like, I'd really like to sign you to my agency. Blah, blah, blah. You don't already know, but I'm signed.
I'm already
On the paper, I'm signed. And
Sorry.
he introduced me to Brian and stuff, and like it was just such a pinch me moment. Like, it didn't feel real because like these were people that I looked up to. And anyway, I went, spoke to them at the end, blah blah, said thank you, left, went back to Lipper, just went back to my normal routine. And I remember I was in a rehearsal for Move It at Lipper. This was maybe about 2 weeks later after the audition, and by chance I checked my phone and I had a text from Jerry saying, are you available, blah blah blah, for these dates for X Factor? And I was like, what? I was like, yes, of course I am. So I went down to London, did my first week on X Factor. It was amazing. And I ended up staying for about 6 or 7 weeks.
Wow.
They just kept asking me back for show after show after show.
Incredible.
And that was my way into the industry. I feel like if I would never have took that day off from Lipper and took that chance, I probably wouldn't be sitting here now having this conversation. Genuinely.
Yeah.
Like, that was my moment. That was my door opening. And it's insane to think about now, even telling the story, that was how I got in, you know, because it was by chance. It was purely by chance. I wasn't invited. I shouldn't have been there. I wasn't good enough by any stretch of the imagination.
You must have been, though. They must have seen something in you.
Well, yeah, they must have. But like, compared to the dancers that I knew were there, it was night and day.
It's
Yeah.
like you were
You know?
saying earlier that the passion can disappear. So maybe they saw it was just so fresh in you that they've gone, actually, this is probably the energy that we need.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, like I said, I was freshly 18. I was well up for it. I was training all the time. I was in loads of classes. Like, it's what I wanted to do. So I was like, let me just try. What's the worst that can happen? Like, if I get told no, I'll just go back to Lipper. Like, it's not the end of the world.
And also, like, you'll know yourself, when you step into an audition room, it's not necessarily always the best dancer. Like, you've got to show character. You've got to show it on your face.
I
You've got
understand
to
that
show it on your
more
face.
now than ever.
Yeah.
You know, like, I understand, like you've just said, that they must have seen something. What that was, I have no idea. But
But you grabbed it with both hands.
there's a video online of the audition.
Oh my God.
Yeah.
We're
We
finding
need to
it.
see this.
Yeah.
Find
Good luck if you can find it, and if you can spot me.
How your friendship then came about with Brian?
Yeah, so that was my introduction to Brian. I then, like I said, they kept me for quite a few weeks on the show. And then I ended up doing, so they would have like guest artists on the show as well. So then Nicole Scherzinger came over.
Wow.
Brian was then her creative director and choreographer. So then he hired me to dance for Nicole. That then led to kind of like a summer tour with Nicole as well, which was all choreographed with Brian. So I was spending a lot of time with him. And then probably for the next, what are we, 2010, 5 or 6 years, I did every X Factor after that with him. And then again, that kind of led into little like other jobs that spanned off from X Factor. And then in 2018, and then obviously he'd come over to London and he'd teach all the time. So then he would ask me to assist him in his classes and we would spend time together that way. And then in 2018, he asked me to assist him on a movie, which was shooting in Budapest. And we spent like 2 months together in Budapest. And we actually like co-choreographed the film kind of. So it was just bizarre that like that was my idol. And now I'm literally like sat having dinner with him, talking about life. Yeah, and then when Romeo was born, him and his husband were in London doing something, and they came to Liverpool to go and have dinner with me and my wife. And like I've got pictures of him with Romeo when he was a newborn. So like I genuinely consider him like a friend. He's not just like someone that I work with, you know. Which is so wild because like I grew up watching Slave for You, like I've said before, and it's just like I used to watch him on DVDs on Britney's tour, like with the
my
curly
God,
hair, and
days of DVDs.
that's what I'm saying. That's what I'm saying. Now I'm really showing my age.
You might be showing
For those
up.
of you that don't know, that's like a circular thing that you used to put in a TV.
And then go.
Yeah, literally. Yeah, literally. So it's just insane that like
Wow.
the relationship just kind of grew with someone that I never even thought that I would have the opportunity to meet, let alone work with, let alone become friends with. So
That's
yeah,
amazing.
yeah.
All because you took that audition and lied
All
on your
because
form.
I lied. Isn't that insane?
Or there was something aligned for you going, do you know what? No, I am going to do this. So,
But it would have been so easy for you to be like, oh, I didn't realise I needed an agent. See ya.
yeah.
You just used your initiative and thought, mm-mm.
Well,
I'm getting
the
it.
thing is as well, like this is what I say to my dancers now, like in this industry, everything is about opportunity. And if you're not ready to take those opportunities, they will literally pass you by and on to the next person.
Absolutely.
And that might be your one and only chance to get your foot in with whoever it needs to be at that moment. So I guess that was my opportunity and I took it and we're here now. So
So you decided to step away from performing and to pursue choreographing. What pushed you to do this?
I think for me it was just like the natural progression in my career. I'd always taught. Again, going back to my mum and dad's dance school, everything started from there. So I used to teach for them when I was younger. So I think I started teaching when I was about 14, which is pretty young to be fair. But I had like my own little crew and stuff that we used to take to competitions, UDO, BDO, all of those. And so that's where my love for creating kind of developed more. And even back then at like 14, 15, I used to edit all my own music. I used to put all my own mixes together. And it was just something that I was always really interested in. Even though I knew I wanted to perform as well, I knew that choreography was always something like the creation side of it that I wanted to explore. So in about 2017, 18, I was like, I'm just going to try a little bit harder with the choreography stuff. I never really actually like pulled the plug on performing because I don't really believe in that. I don't believe that you're ever fully out of it.
Yeah.
And then I just made the conscious effort to try and pursue that more. So I started teaching more classes. I started just trying to get my work out there more as a choreographer. And it worked. It really worked. I just reached out to an agency, which is called AMCK. And I just said, hey, listen, I want to pursue this a little bit more. I'd never worked with them before as a dancer even. So it was kind of random. And I was like, would you take a chance? And they were like, come in for a meeting. Went in for a meeting. They were interested, signed as a choreographer. And that kind of kickstarted my choreography career. But I think also in this industry, as you'll know, a lot of it is about who you know, not what you know. So having worked with quite a few different choreographers through my career as a dancer, that definitely opened up more opportunities as a choreographer as well, to go and assist people and stuff like that and get more experience. So that definitely helped me. I wasn't really starting from right from the beginning as a choreographer because I kind of knew people as well. So it was a little bit easier, but it was still very hard.
Yeah, I can imagine.
Yeah.
Do you think it changed your identity as a dancer in any way, shape, or form?
No, I feel like I've always been the same.
Yeah.
If anything, I think it made me appreciate being a dancer more because as a dancer, you kind of it's a hard job. Don't get me wrong; it's a hard job being a performer, but you have one thing to think about, and that's it, and that is whatever that performance is at hand. Yes, granted, in a performance, you can have multiple things to think about as a dancer, but ultimately, you're only thinking about yourself, and that's it. When you're a choreographer, you're thinking about the whole team. So you're thinking about every individual dancer, you're thinking about the actual steps, you're thinking about the staging, you're thinking about the transitions, the formations. And I think when you're a dancer, you forget that a choreographer is going through all of that behind the scenes. So if anything, it made me respect choreographers 10 times more. Not that I didn't have any respect anyway, but it kind of just made me think, oh wow, you really do have to go through it on a job sometimes. So I think it just gained more respect from that side of things.
Sure. Interesting.
Yeah, because it makes me think about, that from like when we've done cheer routines, in your mind you've got this routine that you want to do, but then you get there and go, oh, I'm gonna have to change it. Have you ever had any of those moments?
It happens on every single job. Not necessarily always because of me. Sometimes the director's not happy, the cameraman's not happy, someone's not happy, everyone's never happy. So it's like, we need to change this, we need to change that. Oh, that whole section that you learned yesterday, that's gone, but we're going to learn a new section. Yeah. And it's just about being on the ball. And I think, again, having so much experience as a dancer really helped me as a choreographer, because I kind of understood it. I feel like if I was to just jump straight into choreography, it would be hard. It would be really, really hard. And I think the types of jobs that I did as a performer were so high pressure and so just, you had to be on the ball 24/7, especially working with the likes of Brian and stuff. They expect nothing but perfection every single day. So I think training in that environment, because even on my first job, like, I was still training. I wasn't a professional dancer at that point. And I feel like that first X Factor with Brian, that made me a professional dancer. And after that job, I really felt like I could do anything. And I think that translated into the choreographic world, is that nothing really phases me anymore. I feel like I can deal with problems quite quickly. And I actually thrive under pressure. I very rarely crumble under pressure, whereas some people just cannot hack it as a performer or a choreographer. And as a choreographer, it's probably heightened by a million, because everyone above you is looking at you. Whereas as a dancer, you're one of, I don't know, 10, 20, 40 even. So you can kind of hide a little bit more. So I think just learning to adapt and learning to take on that pressure is the hardest thing.
So working on both sides, it's probably made you quite compassionate, because you've probably been there as well, where you've stood there at the front or at the back, or you've missed a step and the teacher's seen it, and you've been subject to being embarrassed in front of the class, and it is not nice. But yeah, I can imagine you're probably quite compassionate with your dancers as well.
I mean, I've not often been on the receiving end of it, thankfully, because I'm so good. No, I'm only joking. No, I actually haven't. But there's been a couple of things, like one specifically that I remember is, again, doing X Factor. We were doing something on stage. I can't even remember what it was. It was like a double pirouette or something. Something that I should have been able to do in my sleep. And I fell over. Like, actually fell on the floor.
Oh, wow.
And at that moment, it just happened that Brian was walking past and he was in front of me. Oh. And he literally just looked down at me on the floor, and he just tutted and like turned his head and walked away.
Oh, no.
And I thought, and he didn't even have to say anything, because like, the thing with Brian is like, his face tells you everything.
Yeah.
And I literally wanted to cry. But I've seen other people on the receiving end of it, like, really get it. Like, really, really get it. To the point where I'm like, I don't know if I could take that. So, you know, I've seen people be fired on the spot. I've seen people be sent home from the job. Like, that intense.
Tough skin.
Yeah, 100%. 100%. And that, again, it comes back to that high pressure environment. If you're not built for that, you're not built for it. Yeah. And you will not last very long. And thankfully, I feel like I do have quite thick skin, and I can take it on the chin most of the time. But I think watching other people get it way worse made me feel like, okay, well, I don't actually really want to make people feel like that, because it's very rarely called for. You know what I mean? Like, you can just tell someone, you need to step on the right foot the next time. Like, you don't need to like embarrass them in front of everyone.
Sure.
And that's one thing that I just will never do. If I'm really upset with someone, I'll pull them to the side and I'll speak to them. Or like, if I'm given notes, it will just be, you stepped on the wrong foot. I'll make sure you're doing the head on that. Like, I'm not gonna rip you a new one in front of the whole cast, because it's not necessary, you know? And even more so now, since I had a child, that's what makes me more compassionate. Yeah. Because I always think, if Romeo was in my class now, or if Romeo was in a class and someone spoke to him the way some teachers speak to their students, we'd probably have a problem. Mm-hmm. You know?
Yeah.
And I wouldn't want anyone to make him feel like that. No. So I'm like, I make a conscious effort to not try and make people feel uncomfortable. There's a time and a place for everything, I think.
Absolutely.
I agree. 100%.
I'm so excited to ask this question.
Go on.
But we've touched base roughly, like saying that you were on tour with like Nicole.
Yeah.
So some of the incredible achievements are that you've worked with artists, which is probably one of the favourite artists, like she's just insane, is Pink.
Yes.
Sabrina Carpenter.
Yes.
Kelly Rowland. Like, am I missing anyone else? Because that's just...
You missed a few.
Do you want to name them? Throw them in.
Come on, name
I
drop.
can't even remember, like I said. Kylie Minogue, Taylor Swift.
What?
Actually.
One Direction
Wow.
is a cool one normally for the girls. Who else? I think that's probably Jennifer Hudson.
Yes.
Ooh.
That's so cool.
Yeah,
Which one stood out to you the most working with?
probably Pink. Pink and Taylor Swift, to be fair, were two people that I never thought I would dance for. And they were two of the nicest people ever. And they were pretty big casts that I performed with. I think Pink was 20 professionals and like 50 students, and Taylor Swift was maybe like 30 professionals. And what I really loved about both of them was that in the rehearsals, especially Pink, bear in mind there was maybe like 70 people in the room. She came in and she went around every single person in the cast, shook their hand. She said, "Hi, I'm Alicia." That's her name, Alicia.
Yeah.
She was like, "Hi, I'm Alicia. Nice to meet you. Thank you for being here." Every single person.
Oh, how lovely.
And you don't very often get that with artists. And it's not always the artist's fault. Sometimes there's no time. Sometimes it is just, let's get in, get it done, and get out. But that I really respected them for that. So that made me enjoy the process 10 times more.
Is there an artist that that you've not worked with yet that you think actually I would love to work with them?
J-Lo's like my number one. As a choreographer. Actually, I mean, I wouldn't say no to dancing for her. I would love to choreograph to J-Lo's music. Just because it's like, it's up my street
Yes.
completely. So that's like definitely on the bucket list for choreography for sure. But like I said, I wouldn't say no to dancing. So
I bet you
We'll
do
see.
think that like, what is my life right now?
Yeah, like
That's
when you're in those
insane.
moments.
yeah. Like even like I said, I never really pulled the plug on performing, and then this year, and it's so random. Like an agency that I've never even worked for reached out and was like, "Are you free to do Sabrina Carpenter at the Brits?" And I was like, "I don't even dance anymore. Like, what's going on? They must be really desperate." And anyway, it was a process, and I ended up doing it, and it's the first time I've been on stage in like 8 years.
How did that feel?
It was terrifying. I was definitely like questioning myself. I was thinking, can I still do it? Do I still want to do it? Will I still get the same feeling? And I surprised myself in a good way. I felt comfortable in the rehearsal. Felt like I'd never really left that environment. Because when you're in a rehearsal as a dancer versus when you're in there as a choreographer, it's a totally different experience that you cannot compare. It felt weird being in a room that I wasn't in control of, which was a bit of a weird one to wrap my head around, because for the last 8 years, like, you know, I run my company, I'm a choreographer, it's always me that people are looking to for answers. So for me to just be able to like take my foot off the gas and just sit back and just focus on me, it's kind of nice. It's kind of nice. Yeah, and a lot of the guys on the job were people that had either come through my company or had trained in different dance colleges or had been dancing with me for years. So it was a bit weird to be on a job with them as well. It was nice. You know, they were all calling me granddad and everything on the job, and which is fine in dance world. I guess I am. But it was a good experience. Did it make me want to perform more? Probably not, to be honest. It didn't make me think like, oh, I really miss this so much. Like I have to get back into it. I think I would just be more selective about what I do now. Like if J-Lo came knocking and said, "I need a boy," of course. Or you know, like any of the big ones that I like, you know, like your Gaga, your Beyonce, any of that. If Britney ever did a comeback, Christina Aguilera, any of them lot, I'm in. Like I'm a pop girl at heart, so like any of those, I'm in. Anything else, corporates, hair shows, I'm not interested. I don't care, honestly.
Oh my god, I've got hair shows.
Yeah, do you know what I mean? Like, or you know what I mean? Just like, and I don't even mean that in like an egotistical way. It just doesn't interest me. Like, I have no desire to dance on any of those stages anymore. Like, if I want to dance again, it needs to be something that's gonna like excite me, something that I get excited about. And yeah, I forgot to say that Kelly Rowland was one of the nicest people that I've ever met as well. She was, and that was insane because I mean, I grew up listening to Destiny's Child. Like, that is just, it was mind blowing. And I got to choreograph 2 numbers for her. So
Which ones did you get to do?
I got to do Soldier from Destiny's Child. Yeah. And I got to do Like This. Told you I was gonna bump like this.
And we were like, hey.
So that was like a childhood dream.
Wow.
Yeah. So that was really, really cool. And she was so nice. She was so nice. Yeah. And random little side story. I was doing another job in Paris like the year after. This was 100% like over a year after. And some of the boys from the job got asked to do a random like Louis Vuitton private show in Paris with Kelly. But I was doing another job, so I wasn't available. And it was 4 boys and it was Kelly, and they were doing this random rehearsal in Paris, and I was in Paris doing a tour. And they were like, "Oh, just come and say hi." Like I was still in the groups and stuff. And their tour manager was like, "Yeah, just come to the rehearsal. It's cool. Like we can just have a beer and catch up, whatever." I was like, "All right, cool." So I went in. It was like a 11 p.m. rehearsal in Paris. It was so random. And I just strolled into the rehearsal room. She was like, "Josh," and she ran over and she gave me a big hug. And I was like,
Oh, friends.
"What the hell? Like this is Kelly Rowland from Destiny's Child. She remembers my name."
Wow.
Like that was
Surreal.
that was pretty insane. She was like, "Yeah, sit down, chill, like do what you want." I just sat in the rehearsal for no reason, just watching a rehearsal with Kelly Rowland. I wasn't even involved in the project.
That's insane.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I was more shocked that she remembered my name than anything. Like I was
Yeah.
so surprised, and it was so lovely. And she came over and gave me a big hug, and I was just like,
I think that's a real nice like personal touch. With someone,
100%,
someone as
100%.
big as Kelly Rowland as well.
100. She has no business remembering my name
Yeah.
whatsoever. So
That's incredible.
yeah, that was a little pinch me moment.
Best things now.
Best.
This episode is sponsored by All Star Dance and Fitness Academy. All Star Dance and Fitness Academy offer a variety of classes to suit all ages and abilities, from ballet to musical theatre, from heels to gymnastics. They have classes at Summers Road, St Gabriel's Holton and St George's Hill Morton. They also run holiday clubs at Leamington Hastings Church of England Academy in school holidays, jam-packed with fun and creative activities. If that wasn't enough, they also offer children's party entertainment, from dance parties to teepee sleepovers. They handle every detail to ensure a memorable and stress-free celebration. Get in touch today for more information and free trials. So, besides all of that incredible work, you've also worked across 2 different Netflix shows.
I have, yeah.
What was that like?
Yeah, it was. I'm trying to think what I did first. So the 2 shows that I've done is Squid Game: The Challenge, and Dance 100.
Loved that.
Squid Game: The Challenge is, so I'm the movement director, so it's not dance at all. It's more like formations and movements and stuff, but it's really cool. It's really, really cool. Um, that actually came off the back of Dance 100. So one of my good friends, Liam Lunnis, was the creative director of Dance 100. And this is what I'm saying, guys, like everything happens by chance. Like I wasn't supposed to do the job, genuinely. So me and Liam have been friends for years. We did a couple of things together, like small things. And I choreographed the MTV EMAs in like 2017, and he was the creative director. So we kind of worked together, but not really. We were on like different teams. But we've been friends for a long time. And, you know, as friends do, I'm always like, "Oh, I'd love to work together." And he's like, "Yeah, we'll definitely do something." I was like, "Oh, cool." I was in a class in Liverpool for something, and my phone rings, and it was him. He never rings me. And he was like, "Josh, I've got COVID. I'm supposed to be doing this audition tomorrow for this new Netflix show that I'm creative director of. Please, can you jump on a train tomorrow morning and come to London and host the auditions for me?" And he was like, "But I need you to teach my choreo." I was like, "Yeah, sure. What do you need me to do?" He was like, "FaceTime me when you get home. I'll teach you the choreo. You need to be in London for 9 a.m. tomorrow." This was like 10 p.m. on a
my
Friday night, let's say. And the
gosh.
audition was 9 a.m. on a Saturday. So I got home, FaceTimed him. He taught me the choreo. I was on a 5 a.m. train to London. I held the auditions, so it was me and a girl called Kimberly Taylor, and she did one round and I did the other round. And we did 3 days of auditions, all different groups of dancers, and they were auditioning for the Dance 100. And I didn't know anything about the show at this point. I was just doing him a favor. He was like, "Please, can you just do this?" I was like, "Yeah, of course I'll do it." So I went. Everything went really well. Then he ended up asking me, he was like, "Listen, because you did me a massive favor," he was like, "Do you want to come and choreograph the opening number of the show with me?" I was like, "Obviously." So I was like, "Yeah, of course." So this was like when the Dance 100 did the number together as like the 100 dancers. So me and Liam choreographed it with Kim as well. And blah, blah, blah. We ended up doing that, and I just went home. And then he called me and he was like, "Do you want to just do the rest of the series?" And I was like, "What?" So bear in mind, this show it's a choreography show. So they have 8 choreography contestants that are all up and coming choreographers, and their job is to work with the Dance 100, which is 100 professional dancers, and they have to create different things, and they have like a different theme every week or a prop or something that they have to create with. So there's really no role for me because I don't need to choreograph anything because the show is a choreography competition. And he was like, yeah, just come and be my like choreography assistant. He was like, I'll just get you a role on the show and I'll just pay you and you can just be there with me and we just hang out. All right, cool. So I literally worked on the show for like 6 weeks in London. I was just there with Liam, doing anything that he needed me to do. I was like, just like overseeing choreography basically and just making sure that everything looked good. I'd go to some rehearsals for him and report back and stuff like that. And then I ended up choreographing another number with him for the Dance 100. And then I ended up assisting one of the finalists because it ends up with 2 finalists and they all have to choreograph a number with the Dance 100 each. And obviously one person to control 100 people is not easy. So he gave them assistants and I was one of the assistants. So I think I'm actually in the last episode of the show on Netflix. But it just happened so randomly. It all just happened from that call. I've got COVID. Can you take the audition? I was like, yeah, of course I can. And then I'm doing a Netflix show for 6 weeks. It was insane. And then I made, I'm just being me, just talking with people or whatever. And the girl who was sorting out my contract worked for the production company called Studio Lambert. So they're the same company that do the traitors and all that kind of stuff. Massive, massive company. She reached out and she was like, listen, we're doing this new show called Squid Game The Challenge. It's based on Squid Game. Do you want to do the movement direction? I was like, yeah, obviously. Of course I do.
I'm not gonna say no.
What do you mean? Do I want to? Sign me up. Sign me up. So it was essentially just working with the guards, just making sure that they were walking in time. Honestly, the easiest job ever. But like so cool because they hire like a whole TV set, not just like one warehouse, like an entire complex. And they build tunnels from each TV studio so that the contestants don't ever see daylight. It's like actual Squid Game.
Really?
When they're in there for 2 weeks and they don't know what time it is. They don't see daylight. They don't speak to anyone on the outside. They make it like you're in Squid. It's insane. When you go in, like the set is identical to Squid Game. It's identical.
It's not filmed far from here, is it?
It's filmed in no, it's just outside London.
Oh, is it?
Yeah.
Oh, I thought.
But yeah, the way they replicate the sets and stuff is just wild. It's insane. I've never seen
Wow.
it's more impressive than like some movie sets I've been on.
Really?
Yeah, like you're in the world of Squid Game. Like it's mental. So that's a really cool job to do.
Yeah, it is.
they
It is good though.
It's really good.
It's
It's
really
really good. And you know what? I just love like seeing behind the scenes of how you would. I mean, you probably know because you're in that kind of world, but the amount of work that goes into it, the amount of people that work on that show is just mind blowing. Like I'm talking like thousands of people. It's insane. Like I walked into the control room where they have. So I think in the dorm room alone, where they sleep, they have something like 175 cameras just in that one room alone.
Wow.
It's insane. So like when you go into the control room, it's a whole wall of just mini TV screens and every camera's on, and that's how they watch all the contestants and keep yeah. But it's really cool. Yeah.
It's hard, isn't it? Because I mean, we all watch TV, but like just watching, you just see that.
Mm-hmm.
But then when you actually get behind the scenes, you just think,
Yeah.
this is mental.
I mean, even though I'm saying like it's a really easy job, it's easy in terms of like I don't need to choreograph anything. I don't need to do any of that. It's more like, yeah, making them stand in a formation. Then you got to walk to this formation. Then you've got to do this, but they've got in-ears and trying to make them work with the in-ears, and it's just more like logistical stuff. But like even that takes time. Like I think I rehearsed with them for like 3 full days just to do like a couple formations. Yeah. It's like, and then they have someone that their dedicated job is to talk to the guards in their ears to say, okay, move to position 1, move to position 2, move to position 3. It's yeah.
That's
Okay, so we've already briefly touched on this, but you've mentioned that you have your own dance company with over, is it 100 dancers?
Yeah.
What's your vision for your company?
It's kind of changed as of recent, to be honest. So I've had my brand phase for like, I think this is the 8th year that it's been going. But it started as like just a 2-day program, like an industry program. So I'd bring in agencies and choreographers and things to work with the dancers. And then I was just like, oh, there's just so many of them now. It's so saturated. I was like, I need to do something different. And I wanted something that was more sustainable for me as well. And I was honestly just sick of teaching so many classes all the time. Like I was teaching upwards of like 20 classes a week. Yeah, it was borderline unhealthy how many classes I was teaching at different colleges and universities and stuff like that. So I was like, I need something that can kind of replace that, but lessen the workload for me as well and be my own thing. And that's kind of where the idea of the company came from. So it started as just one group of 30 dancers in London, training twice a month. And now I have I have 2 groups in London and 1 group in Liverpool, and I think I'm near like 180 dancers or something now.
Wow.
Yeah, it's pretty insane. And they just come and train. Like that's literally what it is. They just come, they train. It's a safe space. Like I'm not too harsh. um, I want to guide them in the right direction. And I feel like because I've been doing this for such a long time, I can say to them, this is what it's like to do this. This is what it's like to do that. And not everyone can do that. So now my goal is to kind of merge what phase used to be and what it is now together. So eventually I will start exposing them to agencies and hopefully be the stepping stone between them and work. That's my goal. And if I can feed dancers through my company into professional work, why would I not do that?
Yeah, let's get your name out there.
100%.
Do you
100%.
invite them to your aid?
So they have to audition.
Yeah.
They have to audition. I do online submissions, and we only open them, I think it's once a year. But yeah, the last round that I just opened was crazy. It was crazy. Yeah.
Did you have loads?
I had like over 300 submissions.
How long did that
It was
take?
insane. Too long. And I'm not even joking when I say I'm literally a one-man band. Like I do everything myself. I only recently just hired a social media person to do my socials for the company because I just can't.
Too much.
It's too much. But everything else, it's just me. So I'm not saying that that's a good thing. I'm horrendously tired all the time. But yeah, it's grown from like, I mean, I started it in February 24. So what are we now? October 25, and it's like quadrupled in size.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's incredible though.
Which is insane. Yeah. But I don't want it to grow too much. I'll always keep a kind of cap on it because I still want them to feel like it's exclusive and personal, and I want them to feel like they know me more so than just like rocking up to a pop-up class and I just teach them some choreo that they like and that's it. I want to build like a little community where they support each other as well. And it's really nice because a lot of them now are like, they go on holiday together, they live together through meeting at the company. So that's what I want. That's what I'm building, hopefully.
That's amazing.
Mm-hmm.
So the creative industry is tough. You all know that. But you've made a brilliant name for yourself. You know, everything that you just mentioned there as well. But do you ever have periods of self-doubt?
Yeah, every day.
Every day?
Literally every day. I second guess everything.
Really?
It's the Pisces in me. I always just think, is what I'm doing good enough? I've always been like that. Always. I'm my own worst critic. Like, I think, I said this recently to a friend actually, I think I set the bar so high for myself that it's actually unachievable to get to. But I feel like that keeps me going forward. I feel like if I lower the bar, I'm going to drop the ball.
Yeah.
And that's just not how I roll, like at all. I always want to be better. I always want to be doing bigger things. I'm never satisfied, which is not a good thing, but I'm never happy with what I've got. Like I always want it to be more or better or bigger or stronger or more successful. And what even are any of those things? You know what I mean? Like it's just stuff that I put on myself. No one else is putting that pressure on me. So I'm my own worst enemy, really.
But it keeps you motivated.
It keeps me massively motivated, yeah. And like I said, the scene is so saturated now with dance companies, dance intensives, dance programs. So many different things that I'm like, I always want mine to not necessarily be the best, but appeal to the right people, you know?
For sure.
But yeah, especially with like choreo and stuff, I'm always like, is this good? I don't even know anymore. Are people gonna like it? Is my music mix good? Like, is this better than the last one? Because that's what I determine if something's good by. Like, if I know someone's loved the choreo or a class has really loved the choreo or it's done really well on social media, which is so ridiculous to say, then I always think that the next one has to be better than the previous one, and it's just not. It's not realistic, you know. So, but again, it keeps me moving forward. It keeps me motivated. It keeps the fire lit.
Yeah,
So,
for sure.
yeah.
Do you think there is enough support and visibility for male dancers in the UK?
Oh, good question. I think in the industry, yes. In training, no.
Okay.
I feel like in training, people really struggle to get boys. And I don't know why. I don't know what that is. I don't know why it is. Because there's so many more male teachers now. There's so many male dancers in the industry that people see that are actively working. So I don't really know why. Like my company is 80% female, 20% male. You know, I have a handful of boys. Um, and I don't know. I don't know why that is, because it's not even as if my choreography is more appealing to women than it is to men, you know, or appealing to one gender than it is to another. I don't know. I just choreograph the way I choreograph. So yeah, I don't know. I don't know why that is. Why they struggle to find boys.
Have you noticed any changes in like the public's attitude towards male dancers over the years?
Yeah, I mean, I think when I was in school, like I said, I was one of maybe two boys. I think there was another boy that may have danced. I'm not sure if he does anymore, but it was always like, "Oh, you do ballet," or "Oh, you must be gay."
Yeah.
You know what I mean? It's like
Classic.
stereotypical. Like, I'm like, well, I do neither of those things, but that's fine.
Yeah.
So I think we're definitely steering way away from that now. Everything is so much more widely accepted, and every job is different. There's a job for everyone. I always say that to my students as well, that there is literally a job for everyone in the room. You've just got to find what that job is for you. Like what's right for you won't pass you by. And I think some people think that they want to do one thing, but actually they're shutting off so many doors by just like hyper fixating on that one thing. So I think it's definitely changing for male dancers, which is great. I think the stereotype of being like a gay male dancer just isn't a thing anymore.
So we've already spoken about other jobs that you have, but I'm guessing this one in particular could be your favourite, of being a dad.
Being a dad, that is a
Yes.
full-time job, let me tell you.
It is.
That is a full-time
Could
job.
imagine.
Yeah.
How do you balance your work life? Because obviously you've mentioned, especially off camera, that you travel so much. So, like, how do you do it?
I went to therapy,
Okay.
like changed my life.
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah, honestly, because I didn't have a work-life balance. It was just work and that was it, and everything else came second.
Wow.
And I've always been like that since I was a teenager. Everything is work-related. If I go away somewhere, it's because I'm working. If I'm at home, I'm doing something dance-related, work-related, something. And I really struggle to switch my brain into like family mode, or spend time with Olivia, or spend time with Romeo now. Like, I still struggle with it, don't get me wrong, but I've definitely figured it out more so, that work-life balance, because I think I just realized that like there's so much more to life than working. Like, of course, we all need to work and we all want to work in some cases, especially in my job. Like, I love what I do. So, yes, it feels like work a lot of the time, but I do enjoy it as well. So it's a double-edged sword, really. But just finding that time to try and switch my phone off, which I would never normally do. I would used to reply to messages at like 11 midnight, stuff like that, every single day. Always be on my emails. I'd always be petrified that someone was going to message me and I'd miss out on a job or something. Because that's how you're made to feel in this industry. You're made to feel, like I said before, I said it myself. If you don't take the opportunities, they're going to pass you by. So it's like so deep rooted in me that it's still a fear now. But I just realized that, like, you know, I've got one son and I don't want to miss him growing up because I'm fixated on
The
a
next
dance
job.
class,
Yeah.
you know, or booking the next job that isn't even there yet, you know? So, yeah, it was a real struggle to find the balance, but I feel like I'm doing a lot better with it.
Do you mind me asking what made you go, do you know what? I need to speak to a therapist. I need some support. What made you go down that route?
It was just too much. Like, even I could feel it. Like, I could never switch off. I could never chill out. I could never put my phone down. Like, I was on my phone 24/7 and it was just getting too much. And I was like, I need to do something. And a good friend of mine is a therapist. So when I'll meet him for coffee or something, it's like a free therapy session. But he was like, you should actually go and see someone proper, because I can't actually do therapy with you because I'm your friend. So he recommended someone. She was amazing. And you know, it's hard because I don't often really speak to people about like personal stuff, and especially in the industry, like it's hard to speak to people about the industry because I'm in a position where people look to me for the answers. So I don't know, it's hard for me to admit that, like, well, it's a struggle for me as well sometimes. You know what I mean? So just having that safe space where I could go and just talk about anything and everything, and she knew nothing about me. She didn't know who I was, what my job was. That she didn't know anything about me. So I quite like that, because even my friends, like my close people, they kind of manipulate their answers into what I want to hear without them even knowing they're doing it, you know, because they don't want to upset me or whatever. Except for Olivia, she definitely doesn't mince her words. She definitely doesn't mince her words. She's straight to the point. But she's my wife, so it's different.
Yeah.
You know, like I don't have that person that I can go and talk to that doesn't know me. So yeah.
And did you seek therapy before or after having Romeo?
After, because when he was born, I was just carrying on like I didn't have a child.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like I was actively trying, but I was working away in Birmingham actually when Romeo was born. I was doing the oh my God, what's it called? Not the Olympics, the other one. Not the Paralympics.
Commonwealth?
The Commonwealth Games. Thank you.
You're welcome.
I was doing the Commonwealth Games in Birmingham, so I was back and forth every single day because Olivia was heavily pregnant. And one day, or one night, her waters broke. Romeo was born. I had to call my agency and be like, listen, I've just had a child. I'm not going to come back to work for... They were really cool, actually. They were like, take a couple of weeks, do what you need to do. The job's still going to be ongoing. We can cover you for now. Come back when you're ready. So that was great. But I just... For the first couple of months of his life, I just couldn't switch off. Like, I just couldn't. I was trying to be a dad. I was trying to still be a choreographer. I was trying to run a business. And it was just getting on top of me. So I was like, yeah, I need to do something. Something needs to change, because it had been like that since I was 18, 17 probably, non-stop till I was like, 33. So I was like, yeah, now's the time. If I don't do it now, yeah.
So you found a little bit more of a work-life balance now?
For sure.
It's still...
For sure. Yeah. I feel like I just care less about things.
I often hear that when people have children as well, that it puts everything into perspective.
100%.
Yeah.
100%. Like, I don't want him to grow up and feel like, oh, my dad was always at work.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Or like he was never present. He was always on his phone or whatever. And like I said, like I'm not perfect. I still struggle with it, but I've definitely made improvements in the right direction. And yeah, I think I just care less. I'm just like, do you know what? If I miss the job, I miss the job.
Yeah.
It is what it is.
Well, you've made a fantastic name for yourself, so
I appreciate it.
Someone will come knocking on your door.
Thank you. I hope so. I mean, that's all I can hope for, is that I've built a name that is, you know, that people trust, that people believe in, and that is known for being good at what I do.
We've always got a free babysitter over here.
I will babysit Romeo.
And Teddy.
And Teddy.
And Olivia, by the sound of it.
Don't
Let's not make it weird.
What are friends for?
Moving swiftly on. So looking ahead, what is next for Josh and what's next for the company?
That's a great question. I think, even though I said before, like I always want more, I always want to move on to the next thing, I think at the moment I'm just happy with where it's at. I'm happy with how it's going. Like I said, the goal is it's definitely not going to be an agency or anything like that, but just if I can be the middleman to get them into work, then that will be it. Like if people come to me and say, I need dancers for this, here you go, I've got 10 dancers that are great. And it's kind of already happening slowly but surely. Or, you know, if I get any jobs as a choreographer, I have over 100 dancers that I can pick from, which is amazing. That I know, that I trust because they train under me. I know they're being trained the right way, or at least what I believe is the right way. So yeah, I'm very grateful to be in the position I'm in. I have no complaints whatsoever, and I'm happy for it to just keep growing the way it's growing.
Well, we're excited to see where it goes as well.
Yeah, really excited. So,
Me too.
Listeners, we have got to our last question. I know you'll be sad to hear that, but what advice would you give to those trying to make it professionally?
Oh, I hate this question. I always get asked this question. What advice would I give? I would say just don't give up. Keep pushing, keep going, keep moving forward. Like I said earlier on in the episode, whatever's meant for you won't pass you by. It might not always be what you think it's going to be, but it will happen eventually. Like, no one's path in this industry is the same. Like, I've never known it to happen to anyone else the way it's happened to me. So it's hard to give advice on that because everyone's journey is completely different. But I think you've just got to persevere. Like, if you want it enough, it will happen. And I think for me, there was never a backup. There was never like, oh, well, if dancing doesn't work, I'll go and do this or I'll go and do that. It was always, I'm going to dance and that's the end of it. And if it didn't happen through the route that I've explained through X Factor, I would have made it happen another way. Like, I have no doubt, because I'm just that kind of person. Like, if I want to do something, I'm going to do it. And so I would say persevere, have thick skin, don't give up, and don't be too hard on yourself. Like, this whole industry is built on people's opinions, and that's it. It's nothing else. If you're not right for something, it's not because you're a bad dancer, it's just because you're not right for that specific project. And I think dancers are quite emotional beings in general, so they take everything personally. And very rarely is it personal. Very, very rarely. You're just being judged on what they see in that moment. So I think, yeah, don't take things personally and don't give up.
Amazing. Well, thank you very much. This
Thank you.
has been, I think, one of my favourite episodes. It's been an absolute pleasure talking to you. I'm really excited to see where things go. So if you like what you hear, please like, rate and subscribe.
Leave a comment below and let us know what kind of guests you want to hear from, and let us know as well what your favourite part of this episode is.
I'm Demi.
I'm Nat. Bye.